Hi, I'm Emerald Fennell, and today I'm breaking down a scene from Saltburn.
Hey, it's your round, man.
Yeah, go on, mate.
I should go to bed.
Wait, no.
No, you can't snake your way out of the ground.
I'm not.
And it looks like you are.
Boo. Come on.
Okay.
Farley, what? Just cut him a break, mate.
What?
And that round's gonna cost a fortune.
Pub rules, Felix.
In this scene, we have Oliver, played by Barry Keoghan, who he's been at Oxford for a couple of terms now, and he's been pretty lonely, and it's all turned out to be, what his great dream has turned out to be kind of disappointing. He doesn't really have any friends, and it just so happens that he's kind of met this boy called Felix Catton, who's played by Jacob Elordi. They've sort of bumped into each other earlier in the day, and they've sort of had this sort of meet cute, I guess, this like platonic meet cute. And Oliver is having a drink with Felix and his friends, who we referred to on set as the alpha hotties, basically the hottest kids on campus. And so Oliver's just been sitting with them for a few hours, like drinking and having a fun time. Archie Madekwe, who plays Farley, is just such an exceptional actor. He is so brilliant, so funny, so clever, so charismatic. And the thing that, we were really looking for Farley was someone who was prickly, entitled, defensive, and also somebody who was playing the same sort of game as Oliver, which is to say somebody who, was not the centre of power, like someone like Felix, but was kind of an acolyte who was a sort of, who was a satellite to that kind of big star. And I think, so a lot of the relationship between Oliver and Farley in this film, or certainly at the beginning of this film, is about, what happens when, a new favourite comes in. You could be watching Sister Wives and see the new wife coming in and all the other wives pretending to like her and passive-aggressively brushing her hair until it starts coming out. That's the kind of relationship that we were looking for between these guys. Like, there's a natural, innate competition and dislike between them, but there's also that kind of sense, increasingly, that they know each other better than anyone else knows them, because they can kind of see through each other, which is sort of adds an interesting kind of complicating dynamic.
It's my round. I can't go back on that money.
Not my problem.
I'm asking, could I just pay you tomorrow?
I'm sorry, mate, you're not even close.
Oh, please, I'll bring you the money tomorrow.
No.
So a huge part of this movie, obviously, is about the kind of period in which it's set. And so at this stage, we're in the late spring of 2007. And so it was really important that kind of like music, particularly in a place like a pub, like really sort of sets the scene. And so we start with Arcade Fire, and then, which just precedes this scene, and then we go straight into Girls Aloud, Sound of the Underground. They were the band who won Pop Stars, The Rivals, I believe. So very kind of like nice bit of like local British talent. And then we have just at the bar here, we have Destroy Everything You Touch by Ladytron, which is just one of the like truly one of the greats. I picked the period because it's 15 years, when we shot the film, 2007 was exactly 15 years ago, which kind of adds this sort of like slightly de-glamorizing of places like Saltburn and Oxford, because honestly, nothing looks lamer than 15 years ago, wherever you are in time. And so much of this is about the kind of terrible outfits, the kind of awful accessories, the bad makeup and hair. And so here, we also, in 2007, the reason we chose this time was that it's the last summer you could smoke inside. And I don't think anything makes something feel more like a period drama than seeing people smoking inside. And that's what we have, obviously, in this scene. So this is where I was at university, and so I was really trying to get in the kind of texture of those details, the kind of lighting behind the bar, that sort of blue, depressing lighting, the sort of batwing tops, the Livestrong bracelets, all of it's in there. And so this is, Oliver going up to beg the barman, played by Gabriel Bissett-Smith, who's just incredible comic actor and writer, and I just love him, so I just wanted to get him in the film any way I could. And I don't know if anyone in a pub has ever tried to convince a barman that they could maybe pay them later, but there is no barman in the world who wouldn't tell you to f*** off. And so, but it also had to have that absolutely excruciating feeling of being in over your head and knowing you're not going to be able to afford something, and the horror of, that moment of Farley knowing that when he suggests Jaeger bombs, which is going to be the most expensive round, and saying that it was Oliver's round was going to put him in an uncomfortable position. And I think we all feel the complete and utter horror of knowing that we're just gonna have to sort of have a kind of awkward conversation.
Please, I'm fuck's sake.
Thought you might need a hand with these ones, mate. When you dropped this on the floor by your feet. I was gonna nick it, but I thought I'd do the right thing.
Thank you.
From the beginning, Oliver obviously doesn't like Felix, doesn't like Farley, doesn't like the kind of thing that they represent. They're entitled, they're kind of narcissistic. They're all the things that you would assume about these people. And I think it was really important that when we met Felix, that suddenly we all had the same experience of, oh, but this guy is like, oh, he's really nice. That's and that we're all like, oh no, he's so handsome. There's a kind of against our will feeling of falling for him too. And so in this scene, I think it was really important to show that that part of the way Felix operates is that he's very, very conscious, very, very aware of other people's kind of comfort, that he has like impeccably good manners, and which is to say that if he notices that someone's uncomfortable, he'll immediately sort of go to help. He's also, he also likes a lot of people, a lot of young men, wants to kind of save the day. And so I think for him, knowing that Farley's sort of put Oliver in this impossible position already, and then seeing that obviously Oliver is struggling at the bar, the ease with which Felix both comes over to help, pretends that Oliver has dropped some money on the floor so as not to embarrass Oliver or make this uncomfortable in any way, I think shows like not only is he a careful person, but he's a perceptive and, and a kind of a decent person. But also, I think it's important to see that like he also is just like very good at pretending. Like he's very good at pretending this money fell on the ground. And when Oliver says, I'll pay you back tomorrow, and he says, I don't know what you're talking about. It's that thing of like, oh, we're not going to talk about anything uncomfortable. It's kindness, but it's also power. And it's that's always the thing. And also, I mean, almost most importantly, I will say that I myself made the T-shirt that Felix is wearing at 2 a.m. because really needed something incredibly cheesy. And it says in Comic Sans, what happens in Cassiope stays in Cassiope, with a person throwing up into a bin. And Cassiope is a very sort of specific Greek island where everyone, where lots of people from sort of boarding school and things go on holiday. And I think it's just stuff like that, like for a man to do sort of the most generous, heroic thing while wearing the stupidest T-shirt you've ever seen felt kind of ideal. Felix comes from this kind of extraordinary family called the Cattons and lives in this house that he claims that Evelyn Waugh was obsessed with, which obviously is sort of a little nod to Brideshead Revisited. It's a kind of house with 127 rooms. It's unfathomably large and beautiful. And so, of course, he has, he is sort of a king. And I think the thing about kings is that they are brought up to sort of make everyone else feel like they are just as important, while secretly knowing that they themselves are the most important. And that's the kind of conflict of Felix, is that he's so adorable and charming and lovely until he gets the tiniest bit of resistance.
Pay it back tomorrow.
I know what you're talking about, mate.
Thank you, Ale! Oh.